Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here. We've got the potential for some wintry weather in parts of the Carolinas, even east of the mountains. Now, everyone's going to see rain at the beginning of this. We're seeing rain right now. But at the tail end of this event, tonight and early tomorrow, potentially some wintry weather, even a surprise, I think, for some areas along Interstate 40 between the Triad and the Triangle area. And I'll talk about that in today's vlog. Here's our system. It's two parts. One system over us now. It's rainy. It's cold out there. But it's this second system that is the main player. This is an upper level system, which is going to swing in tonight as this first system gets to the coast and becomes a strong low pressure and begins to crank up. That's really what's going to drive this system once it gets developed on the coast. And what happens with this upper energy is really, really key. You can see the moisture over us right now. And real quickly, I'm going to turn on the temperatures just so you can see the temperatures across most of the Carolinas. Currently in the 40s and 50s, so it's way above freezing just about everywhere. But once you get back to the west, the colder air in the upper level system really has most of the energy associated with it. So real quickly, let me go over where we have the current watches and warnings. I'm going to turn off the satellite and radar data here just for a second. We'll turn everything off. And I'm going to turn on the advisories so you can see where all the advisories are currently in effect. So you see the areas in purple. These are winter weather advisories, which are in effect until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. That does include Davie County, Davidson County east. So basically just east of Salisbury to Greensboro to Raleigh, all the way out to the coast. So you can see the winter weather advisories. And obviously winter storm warnings are in the pink. That's for the mountains. Nothing for the Piedmont, but it doesn't mean we won't see some weather here. I actually think we could see a burst of snow, maybe for some northern areas up towards maybe Catawba County, Iredell, Rowan, maybe even Cabarrus County. So let me show you how this thing's going to unfold here in the next 12 to 24 hours. All right, so here we are looking at Futurecast. So right now, obviously, we've got a ton of rain over us. You can see that rain's going to be on and off throughout the day. No winter weather worries today. You notice the time up here in the corner. This is 4 p.m., still all rain. We go into tonight. I'm going to stop this around 8 p.m., because that's when I think we will start to see the snow mix into the mountains. Notice we've got mostly just a cold rain across most of the Piedmont. But as you look into the mountains, you start to see the snow, especially at higher elevations. And even in the mountains, I should caution you, this is very elevation dependent. Get above 3,500 feet, you're going to see heavier snow. The valleys, it could take a while to change over fully. But as we go through time, you'll see the rain spreading east. But the snow doesn't really start to develop east of the mountains until late tonight, really after midnight. So this is around midnight. And notice we're starting to get hints of some wintry weather right in here. Probably a lot of rain mixing in. And again, it's going to be raining a lot of the time here. It's at the very tail end. That's a bad loop. You see it trying to mix in with snow. So this is about 2 o'clock in the morning. Here's about 3 o'clock. And notice we may have a burst of very heavy snow from Greensboro to Raleigh to Greenville, North Carolina. Now, there are hints and maybe some snow trying to mix in closer to Charlotte. So that's why I said areas like Salisbury to Concord to Albemarle to Statesville, you might get a quick burst, but it's not going to last long. It's going to be like boom and then gone, because you can see the back edge is right here and it's moving in. So that's why this isn't a huge event, but there's enough crossover with the moisture here from Raleigh to Greensboro that somebody could get a quick burst. And look at it at the very tail end. So this is it. This is tomorrow morning. I'll back this up. 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. You could see it moving out, and by 10, it's exiting. But again, there's a big burst of snow at the very tail end, and by noon, it's long gone. So this is a fast-moving system, and you can see it moving through all the way to the east, and then it's gone. So it's a quick hitter. So how much snow in that area? Let's take a quick look at what at least this piece of guidance is showing us. So real quickly, let's look at the potential here. So this is snow depth. So basically where the model thinks there's going to be accumulating snow. And I'll kind of show you the areas I think we're hinting at. So this is at 9 o'clock tonight. Notice no snow east of the mountains, but you can see some developing in the mountains. And then watch what happens during the overnight hours. You'll see this batch of snow develop from around just east of Statesville to Greensboro to Raleigh. And I stop this at around 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. So let's go in a little bit closer. You could see around Salisbury, maybe a half an inch. Lexington, about a half an inch. Greensboro, maybe an inch and a half. Statesville, this is trace amounts. And again, with mixing with rain, that's going to be a tough time to accumulate. Sanford, about half an inch. Durham, about a half an inch. But there's a little pocket up here, and you'll see that in a couple locations where I'm putting this, that there could be some heavier amounts out towards the coast. And again, this is kind of just what the NAM is thinking as far as totals, just to give you a rough idea. And what I like to look at often in these cases is kind of the blend of the models, and you see me show that quite a bit. And I'll show you what those are showing right now. So this is the blend of all the guidance, and even the blends are showing a little bit of snow around Charlotte. I think I would say because of the rain mixture, I don't think this is going to happen. You're kind of seeing the area that's probably got the best chance from Greensboro to Raleigh to Greenville. Doesn't mean we couldn't see a quick dusting back here, but you can see the totals. The model's not showing a whole lot, less than an inch. You got to get up here closer to Greensboro and Raleigh where you're starting to see the totals a little more impressive in that area. And that's kind of the area I would look at. And just to show you another guidance here, this is actually a look at what the Weather Service is forecasting right now as far as totals. And it's the same area. So you're hinting at the same spots here from around Greensboro to Raleigh out to Greenville, right in this area. So the general consensus of an inch or two, not out of the realm of possibility, but most of these areas are less than an inch, mainly because there's so much melting and mixing. And again, it's a fast moving system. If you don't get a burst of snow, it might end up being nothing. Now, because temperatures are marginal, I don't expect many road issues. It'll be like white rain, we like to jokingly call it. But you can see for our area closer to Charlotte, Statesville to Salisbury to Albemarle, probably a chance to get a tenth of an inch or a trace. That's certainly in the realm of possibility, because just looking at the guidance, you can see, right here, I start looking at some of these areas. And again, this does not account for melting or mixing at all. So this is like the best case scenario for snow in those areas. So again, everything's hinting at this kind of Greensboro to Raleigh to Greenville track. I think that makes the most sense. And just to give you some other added, information on that, I like to sometimes show this. I don't know where I had this right here. I'm going to show you this real quickly. This is basically where the probability of 1 inch of snow is. And I'm going to move this so it's easier to see. And we'll zoom in on it real quickly here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So you can see the probabilities of 1 inch are highest from Greensboro to Raleigh. And if you don't, the little bar chart on the side here, it's probably hard to see. Let me slide this over some so it's easier to see. So you can see, basically the blue area is where you start getting into 50% chance of 1 inch. It's really right up in here. So the probabilities are pretty low close to Charlotte, but they start enhancing up in here. Now, I was going to vlog a little bit about what's this weekend. We got to keep an eye on the weekend system. This is Sunday into Monday. Potentially, we're starting to keep an eye on potentially for an icy mix. So stay tuned for that. But right now, obviously, all eyes are on this system, which is coming in later tonight.